Welcome to your Inspirational Astrology Horoscope for the weekend of April 18th, 19th, and 20th, 2014. I'm Astrologer David Palmer, the Leo King, here to illuminate the collective consciousness. Join me on Friday as I am doing the live drawing at 2 p.m. Pacific on the front page of my YouTube channel, The Leo King. It'll be a live video. Just push play. It should be at the front top video. It'll be pretty awesome. I'll have a chat room going as well, so if you want to join me in the chat room and ask some questions, it'll be an awesome live event, 2 p.m. Pacific on Friday. And we are stepping into a powerful weekend. We are getting prepared for the big Cardinal cross that I'm sure you've been hearing about all over the place on the internet. It is coming at the beginning of next week. But this is a weekend of preparation because there's a lot shifting in the universe to make this event happen. And I've got a lot to talk about. First of all, I'm going to bring up, before even all the horoscope, we are in between eclipses, right? We had the lunar eclipse at the beginning of this week, and we are finishing this week as we are now almost halfway to the solar eclipse, which will happen at the end of this month. So we are in very karmic waters, very sensitive energy, lots of karma trying to close and open doors. It's powerful. I've been having some powerful stuff in my personal life when it comes to connecting with past lives, connecting with relationships. I mean, it has been overwhelming. So I'd really pay attention to this, especially because relationships are a big aspect of this, especially with all this energy in Libra, Mars retrograding here, the North Node here, the big eclipse was there, but more importantly, we have Venus this weekend, which is the planet of relationships, doing quite a lot. Venus in Pisces is going to be making a trine over to Jupiter, so this is expansion. This is also seeing a big door open in relationships, seeing the truth, seeing new opportunities. And more importantly, Venus is going to leave that transit and come over Chiron this weekend. So I think this weekend is going to have a lot to unveil in relationships, a lot of sensitive areas, and a lot of doors to open, doors to close, truth to see, signs from above. And it's interesting because the moon is going to be in Sagittarius Friday and Saturday, which is about optimism, opening up the doors, being more positive in our life, especially as we're finishing up the sun in Aries this weekend, which is about identification of self and taking action and really being fiery and passionate and definition of self. This is a lot of fire that's going to switch gears and is also going to be connected to these relationships. Because as the moon squares Venus on Friday, there's going to be a lot of signs in these relationships, a lot of doors trying to open, but it's going to be whether or not you're willing to expand or see all the options that are there. And a moon square Venus can be a little odd, you know. It can be like the emotions are unsure of what direction to put in what relationships. We might be confused of how to emotionally react in our relationships right now, especially as the universe is almost pushing us to open all these doors. It can be really kind of testy. But the moon will be trining over to Uranus, trining over to Mercury, and trining over to the sun from Friday into Saturday. So even though there's some squares to all this energy in Pisces, just pay attention to the signs and open up. I think that this is just trying to open your perceptions, open up to all the possibilities, and pay attention to the signs that are in your life. Because if you do pay attention to them and you identify with them correctly, you are bringing the truth of your inner core up. And I think that this is really about our inner cores trying to expose themselves, trying to re-identify in a new position in our life, that we can be truly who we are on the inside and we can replicate that in our life. And I feel that's what this big cardinal cross is all about. That we're all having to step into new cycles of time in our life, new opportunities, new directions, new ebb and flows, new relationships, new identifications of self, new powerful doors. You've heard the whole lingo from me for weeks now. But this is definitely this time, and it's brewing, because when Sunday hits, that's going to be Easter Sunday. The sun comes into Taurus. The moon is in Capricorn late Saturday night, actually. So I think Saturday night we start to ground our energy, and especially as we step into Sunday, the moon's going to come in the cardinal cross. So now we're going to have 5 planets. And on Easter Sunday, with the sun entering Taurus, it's about manifesting now. We've had to come to terms with a lot of things to understand and what we want to identify with. This will be the first time the sun comes into Taurus without the nodes here. This is also the sun this weekend going to be passing the nodes. So there's a lot with destiny and karma, and are we identifying correctly in relationships? And then Sunday kind of gets serious as, holy cow, there's a lot to ground in. There's a lot to feel out. This is also a Mars retrograde coming into the Cardinal Cross. So the pressure is on in actions. The pressure is on in manifesting and creation of our lives to make sure we can start to manifest these lives. I think that we've got in our heads. I think that we've questioned a lot. I think that we've identified with a lot. But now, after this weekend, and especially as we step into Sunday, Easter Sunday is very serious. This won't be your typical Easter, in my opinion. This won't be, I mean, I think it'll be great to be around family, but Venus will be on Chiron, healing a lot of relationships, taking things really dead seriously, everybody knowing that there's this big leap in their lives, and maybe it's nice this Easter Sunday to have those relationships and heal some of those wounds and to go through them. But there's a seriousness, there's an extreme energy that's into it, an extreme serious energy. And the universe unveiling what your reality really is. It's almost like, sure, we've been identifying with other realities and what the reality we want, but it's almost like the universe really unveils, well, this is the structure of your life, this is what you've manifested, and you've got a price check now. Sunday is really a day of real seriousness in this energy and the pressure of whether or not we're going to identify correctly and really step in a manifested life of what we're trying to identify with. Because Mercury is going to be coming off of all this Cardinal Cross, so our minds are ready to figure things out. And we're getting clearer and clearer with our energy. On top of that, if you just look around the astrology chart, it really is this Grand Cross. There's pressure coming. It's time to seize opportunities. It's time to really see what the universe is trying to recycle or cycle new in your life. It's really trying to bridge a lot of this new energy. And relationships, I think, will be a big impact this weekend, because it is a Venus kind of weekend. It is a transitional weekend of the sun passing over the nodes. There's a lot of karma that I feel is coming into this weekend very intensely. Now, to help you through everything, I'm going to add a new part to my horoscope where I pick a card. And I haven't even looked at it yet. I pick a card and then I do it. And the card I got is the Ace of Cups reversed. And in my opinion, this emotionally, and if we look at Jupiter, how it's pressured into these doors, we need to allow these new emotions in with what we've been identifying with more importantly though, all this pressure in our life can really be a lot on our feelings. And we need to learn to bring a new cup of life into our feelings. This is the holy grail of feelings, that we need to bring in how we really feel though. And bridge new feelings, that maybe our feelings are still holding on to the old opportunities, to old doors that are closing. That we need to move our feelings now into an energy that opens doors. And an Ace of Cups reverse to me is saying we might not still be bringing in those emotions fully that we need to. We might still be stuck in old emotions. And I think it's time to bring new emotions to the table. Because if you look at this Cardinal Cross, Jupiter's in Exhaustion, and that's going to be one of the most powerful placements. It is the biggest planet in this Cardinal Cross. And it is about bigger emotions, opening up new passageways, new doorways in your life. And that's going to be whether or not your comfort levels allow that or not. And that's very intense, as Mars is not going to be able to take action if your emotions aren't in the right place. Uranus, that's squaring the big doors. Jupiter is saying if you're not willing to step into some craziness, there's going to be issues about those doors opening, about those emotional energies. And more importantly, Pluto is opposing Jupiter, and Pluto is going to be highlighted extensively this weekend as there is intense change, death and rebirth that Sunday we need to be prepared for. And maybe you might be staring at a life that's dead right in your face, or things that have died and the emotions around that energy. And so it can be very serious and very intense, but it's all trying to light up flowers. Because really, Taurus is the sign of flowers, it's the sign of the spring, it's the sign of new value systems that we are enriched in, the things that we need to own in our life, our value systems and self. And I think that we need to price check and make sure we're in the energy that values us correctly. Because we're in a definite time of mirrors, and mirroring ourselves correctly, mirroring ourselves with the right relationships. And Venus with trine with Jupiter and over all this energy and how the moon's going to be in Sagittarius, I think there's a lot of optimism, there's a lot of rush, but it all then comes into a very serious end of the weekend with a lot that's going to be on our plate. And get ready for the big Cardinal Cross that comes and starts on Monday. Check out my website, inclusiveastrology.com, if you have any questions or if you want to have a one-on-one reading. Thank you so much for all of your support, and I will see you on Monday for the big Cardinal Cross.